lost out a window and got fired from my last job. Hotwired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Well, my brother-in-law had to death. I lost 20 bucks on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Me no harm, all the trouble that we did to.
I don't hear anything.
Hey.
I don't hear
Hey,
nothing.
good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent, Commander, in the studio this morning. Glad
He's in
you're
the
all here.
wings. All right, Cody, turn that garbage down.
Yeah.
Either it pops or it doesn't. Turn it down. We don't want to hear it.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hayfeed and Ranch Services. We're glad you're all here joining us in the Atzenhofer studio this morning.
Yes, welcome into the Atzenhofer studio for a South Texas tradition for over 100 years. Atzenhofer, Victoria's dealership. 35 degrees with the AT Deerland Feed weather report. 35 degrees under clear skies in Victoria, Texas. Heading to a high today of 68.
Nice.
Really a nice day. It's this afternoon supposedly going to get cloudy around 6. And tomorrow morning the low is only 50. So we're good. And then it's supposed to be rainy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. So it's that time of year. It's spring showers bring May flowers. That's where we are, kind of. Right? There you go.
Absolutely. Let's see who's in on the podium this morning. Daniel Wade White, Ricky King, Andrew Alvarez on the podium this morning. Scott Tomko, Marvin Mickish, Lisa
Poole, First Lady, and followed by Sherry Jacobs, Stephanie Conti, Heather Stewart, Linda Christ, Rena Shear. Boom, they all come in.
Randy Langston checking in. Bobby Leister, Micah Patton. Scott Tomko says the real winter's coming this weekend. It's going to be cold at night, but during the day it looks all right.
Well, you're getting your weather report from a Canadian. I mean, what does that tell you? He's not afraid of anything.
There's Junior, Micah Patton, Mark Kurtz, Linda Christ.
There's Mark Kurtz. Good morning, buddy.
Condolences to the Lopez family, the Lopez Broadcasting family,
the owners
of Magic.
And folks that run Magic 95.9 and a number of stations, including KTMV in Corpus Christi. If you're listening in there on the television station, we appreciate you greatly. Carlos Lopez, the, patriarch of the family, was the grandfather of the Ibarra. I think it was Barrera and Ibarra family. There you go.
And
folks out of Robstown that
two
were
parents and the dad, I think, of the mom that was killed.
We don't have all the details, but just know that it was his family, and it just shows you how quickly tragedy can get close to home. The Lopez family very close with our program from the beginning.
Yeah, they were all out of Robstown.
Do I still go here to connect it?
No, we don't.
We don't have.
We don't have
okay,
that
if
right
you call,
now.
we'll just have to talk. Ash battling leukemia successfully.
Robert Barrera, Roxana Ibarra, and her husband Marcus were all killed in the crash. This was just outside of here.
Yeah,
18-wheeler plowed into the back end of cars and.
There were 18-wheelers strewn all over Highway 59 this weekend. I'll tell you, Dawn and I were leaving to go to Houston on Saturday, and we got off at Telfner and went around the incident, which was out closer to like Midway Road, and came back in out at Inez, and that was fine. That accident had been a southbound 18-wheeler had fallen over and slid, and his cab was in the right-hand ditch, but the trailer was extended all the way across both lanes. Zero traffic getting by for hours. And I always wonder, how do you do that? How do you do that? You're driving an 18-wheeler. You own the road.
Probably on his phone.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he was heading towards a ditch on one side or the other and overcorrected. And then, because it wasn't windy.
It wasn't great. It was a little breezy, but it wasn't like 18-wheelers pull over breezy.
No.
And the guy wasn't driving the big brick cargo truck. He was driving a tanker truck that apparently had a chemical in it that forced, I think it was called E3, an environmental services company, to come out and drill into the tank. The tank did not burst.
Drill, baby, drill.
And they drilled in and took the chemical out. It began with meth or something. And they took the chemical out, and they had to basically empty the trailer before Allen's Wrecker Service could hook the beast up to it, the 75-ton crane, and stand the rig up. It took hours, literally hours. Coming home, they redirected us around. Then the accident that we were talking about where the fatalities were happened at Hill Road and 59. And Hill Road is either right there by the airport if you're on Business 59, or it's just across on the I-69 corridor, and I don't know where it happened. I'm going to guess it was on the I-69 side.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Monty Howard checking in. Tammy Keeling, Arena Scherer. Good morning, everybody.
Junior,
glad you're all here.
Ash cheated in the card game.
No such thing in this one. Uncles and cousins and her husband were the relationships to Carlos Lopez of the Lopez Broadcasting
But
family.
immediate family, so very, very sad. And your thoughts and prayers?
Robert Barrera,
Your prayers
Vietnam
more
War
important than your
veteran
thoughts.
as well. So
Pray for the Lopez family
absolutely.
during this time.
Let's switch things up a little bit. Let's talk NFL playoffs right off the bat. First State Bank of Louise.
NFL update.
Texans.
Not good.
Nope.
Played bad.
Done.
Not any worse than the Chicago Bears played.
In the snow.
Yeah, football weather, right? Very
was.
interesting.
The Bears
Texans are
now going to be
close.
asking for an indoor stadium.
Never. They're proud of their outdoor prowess. I'll tell you who else. Man, the guys that are really frustrated. I'm talking about grown men shedding high schooler tears. Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Folks, you can't believe they were big old linemen. They asked this guy after the game in the locker room, what are you thinking right now? And he was just like, he's speechless, crying. And when, what's his name, the quarterback, Josh Allen took the stage, he walked up and just went, just a deep sigh before he took reporters' questions.
Well,
I didn't watch the game. Were there lots of turnovers on the Bills' part?
Pieces of it. I think what did him in was the pass interference call that shouldn't have been called. My opinion.
Well, you look at it
after seeing the replays. A lot of people say on the best positive description I've heard is that was the most questionable pass interference call at that stage of a game ever. Most pundits are going, never should have been called.
I have to tip the cap to the NFL because, and thank you, Ricky King, honestly, since nobody we really worry about is involved, I'd completely forgotten that tonight we have the national championship game for the NCAA. I'd completely forgotten that football was again tonight.
Indiana and Miami, and I think you sum up probably 65% of college football fans in this country. They just don't care.
Right.
There's nobody sexy in this national championship.
I think Indiana wins. I think you watch it because Indiana is a fun team, and their coach is an engaging guy and seems like a true leader. Back to the NFL, the Bills lose to Denver, and the New England Patriots beat who?
The Texans yesterday.
Okay, so the Broncos will play the Patriots without Bo Nix. The quarterback for Denver goes down with an injury.
Broke it and taking a knee.
Are you kidding?
To get to the on third downs, I think, wasn't it? Didn't he break?
Like with no contact, broke his foot. That's how cold it was.
Well, but he got sacked 3 plays earlier and came up limping, so he
broke his foot.
He did it.
He
finished the job 2 plays later.
I look for New England to win that game. And then you have a divisional rivalry. It'll be like Dallas playing the Giants in the NFC Championship game, as you have the Rams playing the Seahawks. They split the season 1-1. You know how Dallas plays New York twice. The Rams play the Seahawks twice, and they split it 1-1. I think
in Seattle,
I still think that this is Stafford's year. I really look for New England to cruise right into the Super Bowl, which, by the way, to bring that close to home, our buddy Landon Simpson, so many of you told me, man, what a great interview with Landon. Very, very mature beyond his years to visit with about the NFL. It is his business. It is his job. And he gets paid, Coach. Albeit it's not like a player gets $150,000 or whatever they get for going, and some of them have contracts that are tied to that. But Landon gets a bonus that matters. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. I would never ask him exactly, but you can look it up. It's in the NFL. Tens of thousands of dollars for these playoff wins. Good morning, Marina.
Responsible for scouting the talent that gets them there, right?
Absolutely.
Good morning, Marina.
And
so the Rams and Seahawks, Patriots and Broncos on Sunday.
Super Bowl ring. If they win, he gets a ring, and they're real.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Patriots and the Seahawks. I don't know. The Rams. Could you blame it on the weather?
Patriots.
Let's not forget, the NFL has gotten to a point where they only see this weather once a year in the playoffs, because the Super Bowl is always played where the weather's nice, indoors now.
Yeah.
Most of the season is played indoors or in areas where you're not getting snow.
Right. Phoenix.
The Rams are in LA indoors for half of their games. The Seahawks get rain. But think about who else is in their division. San Francisco, you're never going to see snow and cold, bitter cold. Arizona's in their division. They're indoors. So, yeah.
So I'm going with IU tonight in the national championship game in a low-scoring game. I'm going to call it
I think it'll be low-scoring for Miami.
24-17. 24-17, Indiana.
I could see it being 2 touchdowns for Indiana.
Could you? 28-17, something like that?
I don't know that Miami will sniff 20.
There you go. College basketball, who
cares at this point?
I agree 100%, but the fighting Texas Aggies, I have to give them props when they earn it. They beat up on Texas at Texas, 74-70. That comes after Texas had beaten a 16-0 Vanderbilt team and beaten Alabama at home.
They got a little complacent.
Yeah, I think they did. And in fairness, the Aggies have beaten everybody that's below the Mendoza line in the SEC so far. It's not their fault. They've beaten the teams that are on their schedule. You play everybody. But the teams they've beaten are all 2-3, 1-4. That's who they've beaten. Texas women, which now today I'm identifying as a women's basketball fan because the Texas women beat the fighting Texas Aglets 80-35.
There you go.
I don't know how you field a D1 team at a major university and score 35 points. I don't. I mean, women's basketball is the biggest in all sports. In all sports, the difference between maybe golf, the difference between men's and women's sports, the abyss is the biggest and deepest of all time.
Women's hockey is pretty close.
To where you're just like, when they say women can't finish, I love watching women's basketball because it's usually 2 evenly paired teams, and they play so hard, and I tell you what they do better. They shoot the 3 better than men, and they shoot free throws better than men, and they work the ball around a lot more efficiently than men. But the game is totally different.
Where they struggle?
Under the rim.
Under the rim and finishing when there's somebody in their face.
Making a layup. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Let's take a break.
Wow.
And then we'll come back.
I feel like Michael Berry just robbing our public. Folks, USA Concrete Coatings inviting you to give them a call. I saw a building It was an airplane hangar. And the first thing I thought of, I bet it cost $50,000 to put down that, epoxy or polyurethane coating on that floor. And then I thought, but if you're going to park a $40 million jet in there, what's 10 grand? I mean, do it right. USA Concrete Coatings can do the same thing for your garage, your driveway, sidewalks, pool decks, whatever you need done. Veracruz Restaurant, it's a Monday.
Back in today, yep.
Get into Veracruz.
I had their pork chop plate Friday, and it was really good. I don't know if it's on the lunch special today, but it was good.
Get in there and have that at Veracruz today. The best queso, hot sauce, salsa, guacamole. They're the best. Allen's Wrecker Service, aforementioned, for their great yeoman's work. See, some people want to say Allen's, they were heroic. No, they weren't. Allen's did their job. They did what they were paid to do. Doesn't make them heroes. Take note, PD. It doesn't. Go do your job. Great for you. You can be heroic. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300 Palace Bingo and the L&L Grill. L&L Grill doesn't pay for the plug, but let me tell you, Palace Bingo ain't Palace Bingo without L&L Grill.
I agree.
Get in there and have a cheeseburger, a fish sandwich. You get a fish sandwich, it's like a bun that's got a doormat laying on it. I mean, you can
more
eat
fish than bun.
Yeah, you can eat the fish all around it and then toss the bun. I highly recommend Palace Bingo. Support local charities. Have a great time. Cody, get us a list of those local charities for Palace Bingo. Watch him go. You just have to give him tasks. He's very task-oriented.
Look at those hams flying.
Speaking of that, how does he type with that unopposable thumb? Brand us. His mic's not even hot. I love that. Brand us for all your IT needs.
There he is.
Where is he? Say something, Commander.
All right, here's our list.
Nope.
He's there. Yep.
Okay.
American Legion Post 166, Children's Discovery Museum, Kiwanis Club of Victoria, Warriors Weekend, the Victoria Bach Festival, and the Victoria Association for Citizens with Disabilities.
There you go. All supported by Palace Bingo. That's awesome. White Trash Services and White Trash Site Services. White Trash Services inviting you to lock in your pricing for 2 years, up to 2 years. Do a 1-year service agreement, $25 to your local volunteer fire department. Do a 2 or 3 year. They'll lock in your pricing for 2 years and give $50 or $100 for the 3-year agreement to your local volunteer fire department. So there you go. There you have it. Welcome everybody in.
Yeah, I was looking to see what the chopping block might
Chopping
have.
block's got meat.
They were, I tell you what, it was flying out of their meat case on Saturday. I went in, bought some steaks, bought some boudin.
Caden said they're
Pickings
making a
were
new
slim.
boudin that's hot.
I haven't tried it.
Yeah. They made a thing there they call an armadillo egg, and you've seen these different types of meat. But what it was, what it will be, is they took half of a jalapeno, filled it with cream cheese. That's always a good start. And then they wrapped it, Junior, about the size of a tennis ball, but elongated, into a ball with breakfast sausage. And then they wrapped that in bacon. Now, we put that in the air fryer on 400 for about 20 minutes. And you literally could slice it like a pinwheel. It was phenomenal. Yeah. Dinnerway White says, Ash sounds like Bob Uecker from Major League. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening. Yeah.
Oh, Greenland? Do we want to go to Greenland?
We
Seems like the whole world wants to go to Greenland these days.
Very interesting. I'm going to tell you, love him or hate him, I can't help how you feel personally about Donald Trump. You can't take me back to where he was wrong. And when you people want to say that Donald Trump, he's a warmonger, guess what? I was wrong. I had him going into Iran last week, and he averted that. He said, guess what? They quit killing people. They quit beheading people. They quit assassinating people. And as a result, I'm not going to go in and bomb them this week. Make no mistake, the diplomacy behind the scenes. Do you have any doubt, Ash, any doubt at all that either Donald Trump or Marco Rubio got on the phone and said, we will annihilate you?
Yeah.
You agree? I think that's what happened. You will stop doing this. Once again, the United States basically having to be the world's police. Europe just turns a blind eye. They've got so many Muslims running their countries. They turn a blind eye to what's going on in Iran. The United States not doing so and affecting change. But Donald Trump has been adamant, and I'm not sure Ash and I completely agree on this.
I don't. No, but here's the problem I've got right now with Greenland.
Okay.
He keeps calling it necessary for our defense needs, right?
Right.
It hasn't been necessary for our defense needs for how many administrations prior to this one? And every time he says it's essential to our strategic defense, nobody asks him why.
So let me ask you this.
That's what I've got.
Why is it that the EU and the UK don't even bristle when he says this? You don't have people from England going, Donald, I'm people you may, but you don't have legislators from these other countries going, Donald Trump's a bully. He's just, the U.S. is being imperialistic. The reason you don't have that is because everybody in the West agrees that if China gets a foothold there, or if Russia gets a foothold there, it's almost like you're right, I believe. We don't necessarily need Greenland, but we don't need anybody else to have it.
Well, yeah, no. Well, but here's the thing. Russia hasn't taken it. They've had how many opportunities?
But see,
three.
In
Trump is denying them that opportunity now. You communist sympathizer.
And China, I'm not convinced. They're worried more about the southern and western hemispheres and Africa, Peru. We took away control of the Panama Canal from them, which was good. But here's also the problems. Well, the Danish people, they were mean to the Inuits and the natives of Greenland in the 60s and 70s. I mean, it has nothing to do with what's going on here.
It's not about
Trump
human
isn't
rights.
going in there for human rights purposes.
No. Greenland's a peaceful little place. But remember, when you look at that big piece of
They did
ice,
peacefully protest this weekend.
when you look at that big piece of ice, just remember, all the inhabitants together circled up in one spot, which is where they are, isn't as big as Victoria, Texas.
No. The city, not the county even. There's fewer people in Greenland than in Victoria City.
Right.
Stephanie Coney says things have changed, Ash.
I agree.
I disagree because Russia's been in the Arctic Ocean in their submarines and boats and their icebreakers.
They're talking about electronic warfare.
forever.
They're talking about the ability to monitor things flying over our airspace.
They did that under the Biden administration. Remember the big balloons that went whipping over across
They're
them?
talking about the idea, those came from the other side of Russia. That's what people don't realize. Russia is right next to Alaska.
You can see it if you step out your door.
That's what Sarah Palin said, and she was actually right. And if you go right from the East Coast, if you go right across Greenland, you also land in the former USSR. Here's my deal. Until he's wrong, I'm going to defer and go with the boss. When in doubt, vote with the governor. I'm going to go ahead and give Trump the benefit of the doubt. He's not trying to enslave the Greenlanders. He's just saying...
And he's not trying to free them either.
But they don't need to be free.
No,
Why do they need to be free?
But that's what I'm saying. That's where some of these stupid straw man arguments are coming from. Well, they were mean to the people there in the 60s and 70s.
But now you've got... Let's shift gears on this one.
Well, but here's the bigger problem.
Or we can wait.
China. Well, I'm just saying, if you're really concerned about China, Mark Carney is cozying up to the Chinese like nobody's business.
Isn't it
to
funny?
Our north.
Isn't it funny, Cody? I said, let's change gears, and he says no, and then he changes gears to Canada, cozying up to China. China reporting
that's a concern for Greenland, is China's going to get in there, but they're right on our doorstep, creating closer alliances with Canada than we've seen since Pierre Elliott Trudeau was the prime minister in the 70s, and a blatant communist was trying to kiss the ass of another blatant communist in Mao Zedong.
What this shows you is we know everything there is to know about Canada, and at the moment, Greenland is more important to the U.S. than Canada. And here's the fact.
True story.
True, right? China is trying to make up for their trade deficit. Remember when the ignorant tried to tell us only Americans pay tariffs? Guess whose economy sucks?
Yeah, they had
China.
Yeah, they had a decent 2025 when you look at GDP, but
They said it went up 5%.
But they are concerned. They are so concerned about 2026.
Yes.
Their birth rate has plummeted to the lowest level since
Ever.
they only allowed one kid per family. There's troubles. There's
Their
troubles in Big China.
Their unfettered birth rate is the lowest it's ever been. When they were telling people you can only have one kid and mothers were killing their daughters because they wanted to have a son, that's China. That's the good old boys that are just like us. They're just smaller. No, they're not just like us. Here you have multiple kids. We send you $750 a month for each one. Just do it. The Chinese are cozying up to Canada. The logic there is as dumb as if you were to ostracize the entire United States and try to make it up by cozying up to Texas. It's dumb. It won't work. China cannot recoup their tariffed losses based on Canada's purchases.
No, you've got a country that's 1/10 the size of the United States population-wise,
Right.
and they can't make up that in volume.
No, they can't.
But it's symbolic, and it gives China a foothold into Canada,
in a country close to the U.S.
Yeah, and it won't stop economically. You watch. We've banned Huawei from doing business in this country. They are allowed to do business in Canada, despite under the Justin Trudeau regime, a whole bunch of Huawei executives were accused of being spies in Canada.
Yeah.
Including spying against the United States. It's going to get worse.
Canada, I guess, more than technically, Canada is still an ally. In theory, if the poop hit the oscillator, we would all stand united against a common foe. But it's going to be difficult for China. It's going to be difficult for Canada if China becomes their sugar daddy.
Yeah, and and all these people saying, "Oh, Greenland is protected by NATO." When is the last time NATO protected anybody? Seriously, when is the last time they had to respond to anything? They went into Yugoslavia.
We are NATO.
They went into Yugoslavia as peacekeepers, and they screwed that up big time.
The United States is NATO. That's a fact. If you don't believe it, watch what happens when the U.S. says, we're going to pull out. Every other country goes, we're going to increase our percentage of GDP. Yes or no?
Yes.
Every time they all freak. Don't leave. You've got those Tomahawk missiles. Yeah. It's kind of like, that's it. We're all equal on this team, except that Ash has the catcher's gear, all the baseballs, and everybody's favorite bat. And Ash goes, we're all equal. Everybody puts in 50 cents for the soda. Oh, by the way, I'm leaving. No, Ash, no, we'll buy your soda. That's exactly the same thing.
Well, it's interesting that the EU last night flinched because on Saturday they were all, we're going to tariff the U.S. as well if they're going to tariff us.
Bring it on, you idiots.
Yeah. So they decided to back off on that yesterday. The EU met and they prioritized diplomacy as opposed to retaliatory tariffs.
See, here's the problem. All those countries, Denmark, Germany, France, they're all broke. They're all broke. It's all been smoke and mirrors. By the way, here's a secret. The U.S. is kind of broke too. But they're all broke, and they're all counting on Big Brother. So when you call their bluff, they all have to go, this is Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault that we have no money. Crazy. What did the Gaza board offer?
Trump says if you want to be a permanent member on the new Gaza Board of Peace, it's going to cost your country $1 billion.
Good, I like it.
Where does that money go? Does that money go straight into rebuilding Gaza and getting Hamas out of there? All for it.
Probably straight to Donald Trump. He gets that. Yeah.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu objecting to the board's composition, saying that
its formation was not coordinated with Israel and runs contrary to Israel's policy.
Well, and I can see it a little bit when you have Turkey on the board, who Led by a fundamentalist Islamist right now
hates Israel.
Hates the Jews. I can see Bibi's
best bet would be for the United States to leave Israel alone. I mean, be there, have their back. It's kind of hard, right? It's hard to have a blank check for you without telling you what to do with it. But
I don't know. We do that around the rest of the world. We give
story.
blank checks to all sorts of countries under the guise of foreign aid, and then they still come here and then steal our money.
How about that? Speaking of foreign aid that gets misappropriated and messed up, did you see where over the weekend, I think it was Marco Rubio who said, that's it, no more money to Somalia.
Good.
After they had a protest, and so people blew up a warehouse that was holding American food to be given to the poor in Somalia.
Why is it in a warehouse and not being given to the poor?
Well, and his Rubio's comment, which I thought was poignant, paraphrased, he said, our aid as a country is not charity. Our aid is an investment in that country's people. And if it's misappropriated by politicians, then we will just stop giving it. I have no problem with that.
It's been misappropriated for years, depending on the country. Look at all the money that was pilfered by Hamas when we sent foreign aid to Gaza, not just the U.S., every country. The leaders of Hamas have tens of billions in net worth each. You think they got that from a productive Gaza population? No.
No.
Because they don't produce anything. They've lived in squalor. They've been pilfering money from countries like the U.S. for decades.
Where are those great Islamic medical research facilities? What is the equivalent of the Islamic Mayo Clinic?
MD Anderson, they all donate there and come here for their cancer treatment.
True story. True story.
The left is, well, where do you want to? Do you want to go to redistricting or midterms, or you want to go to Minneapolis first?
We can go to midterms. I found that interesting. The left becoming unhinged. Donald Trump, we've always said here that the left is most easily recognized by their
hypocrisy.
Absolutely. The left coming unhinged, as Donald Trump suggested, I believe accurately, that midterm elections serve no real purpose in our country anymore and should probably go away. The asterisk right there is congressional terms should probably go to 4 years. Now, what I have no problem with, the trade-off would be you can have a 4-year term, but the most you can serve is either 4 or 5 terms. I have no problem with saying to Michael Cloud, love you, Mike. You're a great congressman. 20 years, long enough. Time to move on. That'd be 5 4-year terms. We observe these people daily, and the week that it's almost like getting ready for, well, tomorrow we're going to enjoy this victory, and then Tuesday we'll get back to work. Michael Cloud
Tuesday never comes.
Is forced to campaign all the time. And the reality is the midterm elections, Constitution's the Constitution. I don't know where that falls as far as Constitution goes.
It's in there.
Right. So I'm not against that. I don't want to say that the document's outdated because then that opens the door to all kinds of things. It would take a bipartisan agreement to get rid of that. But when you have the midterms, the importance of this would be Donald Trump ran on an agenda, and all he's done is what he said he was going to do. Whether you like it or not, he told you exactly what he was going to do, and he's done it.
Except for the Greenland thing. I don't remember him talking about that.
Maybe not. But I don't think you would vote him out over Greenland. The problem we've got is...
And there's not enough illegal Greenlanders in this country to make a voting bloc that could do it. So,
well, you can bet that they would all, at the end of the day, they'd all be happy to have a passport that let them just come to the U.S. whenever they want. The midterm elections where the House is held by what, one vote? Is it 51-49, something like that? The House is like 50% to 51% to 49%,
Yeah, something like that. And the Senate's right on the 50-50 cut.
If that flips, it's going to effectively neuter Donald Trump's administration for the last 2 years, because all the left will do, is impeach and impede and moan and complain and disrupt.
And the
That's
last time
all they'll do.
the party that holds the presidency won the midterms, where the balance of power was 2002.
2002. And by the way, so the asterisk there is 2002. What had just happened? 9/11. Everybody thought George Bush was good. He was getting the terrorists and the weapons of mass destruction, even though they didn't exist. He was finishing his daddy's war, and everybody liked it. So Bush, really bad leader, had a couple of great moments, but really terrible. And then you go back before that was 98 when Bill Clinton was president. And before that, it's like 1934. So you're in the grasp of the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And before that,
FDR
1902.
promised to give everybody money.
They never. Now, you could say.
But I would argue way back then, you didn't spend 18 months of the 2-year term campaigning
True
to win your
story.
next 2-year term. You went to D.C., you did your business, and then you went home, and then you went back, and you went home, and you went back. You actually did the work. And Michael Cloud does the work. This is not a knock on our
solid
congressman. But Congress as a whole spend more time. When you start weighing in on things that don't matter to your district,
Bernie Sanders all over the country holding rallies.
you're more worried about campaigning than you are fixing your district, AOC. And that's the problem I have. Maybe we could modify the system. Maybe you can't start campaigning until the year of your primary. And maybe all the primaries need to be the same day.
Very, very.
And then you get a
difficult.
3-month. Oh, it would be, but I'm
It's
just
a great
hypothetical here. Yeah, well, this is my fantasy, my show, our show, but this is my
You hear
fantasy
that?
here.
Hey, a ranting man's words are a controlled man's thoughts.
It's an interesting fantasy. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have others.
The
They're
idea
not
that it's
safe
his
for.
show.
They're not safe for the air.
The idea that it's his show is an interesting fantasy.
I quickly corrected to our show.
And you know that I couldn't care less.
I know
It
you
doesn't
couldn't.
matter. It is
You
your
said
show.
the same thing too.
Sure.
Can it also be
But-
my show?
No,
Okay.
No, not a chance. Kill his mic. Yay. This
January.
is not a democracy. You are not the deciding vote.
January 1 till, like, let's just say May 5th, March 5th. Give them 3 months roughly. 2+. There's your primary window.
Around 3.
Round 3. Ash math. There's your primary window. There's your campaign period. Then once you win your primary, you got to go back to work. None of this campaigning until Election Day. And then let's just go, okay, October 1 to Election Day, that's the campaign period.
Do you still get the mail outs talking bad about your opponent?
Well, they can't get that many out in
Okay.
4 weeks.
Oh, contraire. How many did you get?
They could, but let's. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here, but too much time campaigning and not enough time getting things done.
I agree.
And then they'll blame the impasse because the presidential party no longer has control of the House or the Senate, right? And they'll say, well, that's because we can't get nothing done because we're not in control. But when you were in control, you got nothing done as well. Think about these 2 years.
See,
If
here's
Donald
the
Trump
deal.
does an executive order stuff, not a lot's getting done this time around.
This coming in on Newsbreak. Bruce Springsteen puts Trump and ICE on blast after Renee Nicole Good's fatal shooting. Send a message to this president. So if you're one of those people
Where's Springsteen been for the last 3 weeks? On vacation?
cryogenic chamber, why? I mean, I'd be curious if any of you honestly believe that Donald Trump said, shoot them all, drag them out of their cars. I don't believe it. I think that ICE agents are being provoked And, you go back and they show you how many people Barack and Biden and others, whoever the other president was that they put up there, Clinton, how many people they deported. I mean, you don't have to search hard at all to hear Barack Obama champion exactly what Donald Trump is doing. The left often go back to his first term.
Because he talked about it, he didn't do it, although I think his deportation numbers are a little bit skewed because basically he was taking guys that they caught at the border, whipping them into the U.S. for 2 seconds, and then throwing them back out to call it deporting them.
That's what Barack did because, by the way, that is due process at the border. An agent can review your paperwork and say, no, I'm sorry, you're not qualified for asylum and you're not here legally. You have to go back. The Biden administration is the one that said, we need to review this, so we're going to let you in. Here's a hearing date for you 6 months from now. That should give you time to make it at least as far as Chicago.
Promise us to appear and you'll be good.
Yeah, and that's what the Biden administration did. Barack was somewhat of a ruthless deporter. Watch this. I lean right, and I have to tell you, I fully support Barack Obama's border policy. What's that guy's name? Begins with an M. That was the border.
Mayorkas?
Mayorkas did his job well under Barack Obama. They took people and said, nope, you're not here. I have no problem.
They threw kids in cages, remember?
Barack Obama built the chain link detention centers down on the borders, not Donald Trump. When Donald Trump used them, they're separating families. The horror. It's hypocrisy. It's the left accusing the right of what they were doing. And in this case, I have no problem with what the left was doing. I just find it amazing that nobody on the left ever says, man, Trump said he was going to move that embassy back to Jerusalem, and he did it, even though Biden, at the time it was Barack, Bush, all the way back to George H.W. Bush, they had all said that embassy needs to be in Jerusalem. But none of them had the balls to move it. And then Trump bought an old building, refurbished it, and saved pick a number, $500 million. He really did. Yeah. Trump says, hey, he runs on the deal of we're going to seal our border. You know what? The day he got elected, wow, what happened? The border sealed.
And now the left will not make any connection between the border being sealed and the fentanyl deaths in this country
dropping significantly. They think America, but they can't say that America's off drugs because they're more optimistic, because that would do away with their agenda.
I'm sure Narcan is helping those numbers somewhat, but not to the degree
it was around in Biden's administration.
Yeah. No, they're falling because people aren't walking it across our borders anymore. Amen. They're not driving it up on our shores via boats from Venezuela anymore.
Where do our comments go?
I don't know.
Somebody give us some comments. Somebody tell us something. Agree, disagree, agree to disagree. We don't care.
Stephanie Connie says, get the cheating out of the midterms and we would hold.
I do think the Republicans do hold their offices and win the midterms. I don't think that I'm still wondering if Wesley Hunt is going to beat John Cornyn, or if I don't know who has a chance to beat John Cornyn. I hope somebody beats John Cornyn.
Ken Paxton, isn't he running for?
Yeah, I don't know about Ken.
I don't know. Let's take a break.
Sure. I like breaks. Breaks are good. You got us up there where we can go with it?
I'm getting it there.
You're working so hard.
There it is.
Maybe next time we move it and then announce. It's your show. We could move it and then announce that we
could.
Wow.
Let's try to get on the same page.
Folks, Chesnick Furniture inviting you to come in and spruce up that living room.
Now's the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby Leon and his family can help you. By the way, if you want a new sofa, you can go in and go, yeah, I don't like that leg. I like the idea now of kind of going back to mid-century, last century, retro, like modern furniture, where my Roomba can go underneath it. That's awesome. And they've got it. Chesney can love make your house a home. Get in and see why you just always do better at Chesney.
You think the sofas that had that little dust chamois at the bottom will ruffle or whatever they called it? You think that'll ever come back?
It'll always come. Flared blue jeans came back. Trucker caps. The majority of caps I buy now have a mesh background.
Foam fronted trucker cap. This thing's straight out of the 70s.
I don't think that's ever coming back, but it looks good on you.
Thank you.
Atzenhofer, as Victoria's dealership, Atzenhofer inviting you to come in and see why they've been South Texas dealership for over a century.
Yeah.
It's just incredible the number of cars that they have sold through the years. Went services, went electrical, went for all your basic needs. And if you need a Generac generator, Cummins, Kohler, Briggs & Stratton, Honda, whatever you need, whole house generator, turnkey service.
Half-house generator, they can do it all.
Yeah, if you just want to run your AC and your refrigeration so you don't lose
all
meat.
That deer meat.
There you go.
I'm not sure if Brent Anderson checked in, but yeah, he wouldn't want to lose the 2 deers he had hauling back from.
Went services. Do it for your meat. Para Vita Wellness and the Vita Cafe. Reach in and grab something cool. I like to go in for a snack, and they'll sell you 3 halves of deviled eggs that are, which I know you don't like, but that's why I mentioned it to watch you gag. But I always wonder what happened to the other half. I don't know. But anyway, maybe Eric is like, make 3, eat 1, make 3, eat 1. But get into Para Vita Wellness.
She's going to be in this week sometime, she says.
Is there something under there that I'm not seeing?
No.
All right. I like that.
That's everybody.
The Vita Cafe had a wonderful brunch on Sunday, and I know they were busy. Give you a heads up on one. I was in Houston, and just because it's not competing with any of our friends, but I'll compare it to Veracruz. I stopped in at a place called Loopy Tortilla. Mm-hmm. Really good. It was really good. Visited with the manager there for a while because I told him, I said, it's a beautiful store.
You had tortillas?
I'll tell you what I had. They called it a shrimp and avocado salad. So you had these mixed greens. It had 6 pretty big Gulf shrimp that were butterflied open and grilled that were all around the edge. And it had big chunks of avocado, and it came with a creamy avocado dressing that was spicy. It was good. And then Dawn had a beef fajita taco salad, and the fajita meat was really tender. But I'll give you an example of that. Dawn and I can go together to Veracruz and get that. I get spicy beef fajita. She gets fajita salad. We're in and out of there for about $25-$30. That's with with the $4 tea, all the chips and hot sauce you want, all that stuff. I had the salad. Dawn had the salad. I made note. Mine had sliced cherry tomatoes on it. Dawn's had diced Roma tomatoes on it. There was a different recipe for each salad, and the presentation was really nice. It was $60 to get out of there. Now, I realize supply and demand, real estate prices, Victoria, Texas, even as expensive as we perceive it to be, is still a bargain. And what amazes me is as prices have gone up, it's incredible how much food people just leave on their table. It blows my mind how much food people waste. They don't even take it home. It's just there, But Lupe Tortilla was a good experience. Food was great. Now, are we having problems?
Yeah, for some reason, Facebook, we're missing the comments on Facebook, trying to fix that.
But are we still live?
Oh, yeah.
What does that say over there? What did Miss Stewart say? Can you move that box?
Yeah, eventually.
I know it's your show, but China and Russia are making moves in other places. I'm concerned that it is a matter of look this way, not that way. China has a history of inserting itself before anyone realizes, and it's too late. Brian Small says 7 beers will do that to a bill. Be Small, welcome in, sir. Mark Kurtz, glad you're here.
I think there we go. I think we're caught up on the Facebook.
Well, let's go back and get some of those
comments.
Comments. Yeah, I think that China is somebody that Lisa Poole, you're right. Bruce Springsteen is irrelevant.
Yep, I agree. Trying to figure out how far we have to go back now.
Wow.
B. Small says we should go to Minneapolis.
Right. There's Matt Boucher. I would go, but they would find us. They would John Anderson, good morning.
Brent Anderson checking in.
Kevin Langer goes, be careful. Go down a little bit. Europe has sent 6 troops to Greenland to protect them against the U.S. Yeah, I heard Germany sent troops to Greenland. Folks, they are not there to stop the U.S. invasion of Greenland.
No.
By the way, there would be no invasion. That's what everybody's missing. We would show up, dock a ship, and it would be what we want it to be.
Let's see. Anything else?
What did Torrance say?
Why can the left not agree that letting 20 million illegals in any country without vetting is a bad idea?
They don't because, and there is some logic to it, Torrin. If you want to go back up to 30,000 feet, this is interesting. The number of illegals that we had in our country roughly offsets the depleted birth rate in this country and would essentially allow us to falsely sustain our current population. And I think the Dems in the back rooms, which may not be a totally bad idea by the Dems, is to replace our depleted birth rate with immigrants. However, they need to be immigrants that come here with discernible skills, right? They need to be people who come here that have a job waiting, or they come here and they have money. The idea of inviting people here, there's no more room at the trough. We can't afford to invite people here who have government handout needs. We can only invite people here. I don't want people moving to Victoria that need the food bank.
Yeah.
Don't come here.
Well, it's funny that the left wants them all to come here and take our tax dollars, but then they will cry that we're letting them in to take our jobs.
Absolutely.
Because they come in on H-1B visa or what have you, when we don't have enough people to fill the jobs, according to the left as well. So the hypocrisy just ends up in a big circular argument.
Further proof that it is your show, I just got a text that says, I'm with Ash, deviled eggs, blah. Boiled eggs, good. There you go. I mean, I'm getting
eggs aren't good
text
either.
on my personal line supporting Ash position.
Brett Goen checking in, Scott Tomko, Marvin Mickish. Let's see who else in. Michelle Wilson Hawkins. AJ Lauterbach, our state rep, is checking in. Let's see.
I didn't see, Lisa, that there was a church service interrupted by Don Lemon. Don Lemon's a very confused journalist, pseudo-journalist, used to be a journalist. He's very, very confused. Don Lemon and protesters in the Minneapolis area. I don't have a problem with Minneapolis protesters protesting ICE. You want to go down to the town square and say this isn't right, and if you want to be that old fat white person that's down there whining about ICE,
blue hair.
Yeah, go on down there. That's fine. But if you walk into an active, legal LEO operation, I think it's fine for you to get caught in the crossfire. I have no problem with you getting shot.
Imagine walking in the middle of a bank standoff between police and a bank robber.
Let them have the money. They need the money. And right then the bandits start shooting, or the bandits start driving at you with a golf cart. Shoot them. Shoot them. Yeah. Once that lesson's out there, they'll stop going. Unless they just want to be a martyr, then I'd love to help a martyr.
There was my question for Bruce Springsteen. Did you actually watch the videos, Bruce? Aside from the one clip they showed from behind the car, which was obscured and shown for a reason over and 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 over again, because it was able to create a narrative and a false narrative that they can reinforce as the narrative by the leftist media, because the leftists have doubled down. It doesn't matter how many video angles you show where the ICE agent got hit by the car.
I don't know which one gives us more trouble. Junior Sample sends in, Ash is the brains. You're supposed to be the face. We're in trouble either way, folks.
Either way.
We are in trouble either way. Brian Small says the new logo just says Wade and. Go back up. These are really 4 really quality comments that are worth sharing. The international, this is Monty Howard, I think, talking. I can't see it. The international military presence in Greenland was about 35 altogether. We have more police than that in Victoria. I have seen some reports suggesting that Denmark has sent several units.
That'll scare the world.
Do you think anybody in Denmark is going to raise a gun against the United States? Do you realize that we could send one F-35 up there on a patrol and take over that entire country? That's how you know that Trump is trying to actually accomplish something with Denmark. We don't need their permission to take them over. And there ain't squat that China or Russia is going to do if we go up there and plant a flag. You need to know it. They're not going to do a thing. So there's the point. You really think China's going to run in and go, we've got your back, Denmark?
No.
No chance. So that's the deal.
And is Europe going to sit there and allow them?
They will absolutely allow it because it's in the best interest of the West for the U.S. to have a presence there as opposed to Russia or China.
No, I meant is Europe just going to let China walk in and take Greenland over?
Yeah, they would.
You think?
Sure. What's Europe going to do? They'd say, that's your problem, America. Y'all started this. Sure.
They've already let China in. China owns all their 5G and 6G technology and all their wireless technology.
The EU is broke. They've got nothing.
Let's see. Checking things off our list.
Yeah, the lady that got shot, that Renee Good, was not good. She had been following ICE around all day. She was a paid protester. That was her job, was protesting. She messed around and found out. And good riddance. I can't say that killing a pest is a deterrent, but it was for her.
So a 55-year-old Cuban national died in El Paso at Fort Bliss in ICE detention earlier this month. Was admitted to this country lawfully in 1996. Since then, has been convicted of several criminal charges, including sexual contact with a minor.
Should be punishable by death, but isn't.
According to ICE, guards intervened when he tried to take his own life. So they were trying to save him from killing himself, and then he ended up dying in the struggle. They don't say why he died or how he died.
Probably had that proverbial knee on his neck.
Maybe.
I don't like it. I'll tell you folks this. In the same breath that I'm like, hey, good riddance to this person and too bad for that person. When you're incarcerated, there's a really good chance that you have some form of mental illness. I feel bad when people who are, yes, we're being protected from them, but in theory also they're being protected from themselves. I feel bad when they die in custody. Now, don't get me wrong. If society deems that that person should be put down, put them down. But if you're going to house them in prison, Jeffrey Epstein, who maybe deserved to die, didn't deserve to commit suicide. We should have found a way to watch the guy and keep him from doing that. Or we should have kept Hillary Clinton out of his cell.
Would it have...
By the way, anybody...
Would it have shut up all the Epstein conspiracy theorists or not?
If anybody believes that Jeffrey Epstein really killed himself, that's just false.
I just wonder...
And I'm not saying Trump's not the one that had him killed. I'm not.
I don't think the Epstein conspiracy theorists would be placated by anything Epstein would have said had he stayed alive.
He just said Trump was a jerk. He didn't say Trump was sleeping with teenagers on his island.
No, but they would have said, oh, he's just covering up for Trump, right?
You look back, people get upset. You go back to the 90s, you're talking about 30 plus years ago, Donald Trump was just a rich guy who was single. He was just running them girls. He ain't nothing wrong with Trump.
From the I Told You So a couple of weeks back.
No, we didn't tell him, did we?
Governor Abbott, I guess over the weekend, telling state officials to investigate potential Medicaid fraud in Texas, given the allegations in other states.
Good for him. He's getting on top of that. as opposed to Timmy Waltz, who just said, we're trying our best up here. This corruption goes back way before me.
Yeah.
Oh,
but you could have stopped it. You were told about it. Report to the governor due by March 15th. We told you. This isn't just a Minneapolis or Minnesota problem. We're going to find this widespread. Think back to the Medicaid fraud and all the businesses that were selling those personal mobility scooters back in the early 2000s, and how many of them got ensnared in that because it was just a scheme to make print money.
Why is this news? Canyon, Texas. Community members held a rally Saturday to demonstrate support for the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum, which has been closed since last March and has been asked to relocate by West Texas A&M University administrators. It must be on the West Texas A&M campus,
Sounds
much like our
and
own.
it's probably costing them a bunch of money to keep it going.
It sounds like something you could relocate to a Buc-ee's restroom. It's the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum. What are they going to show you?
Speaking of which, Buc-ee's no longer the favorite convenience store in this country, dropping to 4th place on the latest consumer satisfaction survey.
B. Small says, this has been a good show, a good Ash show.
Yeah. We're out of here, folks.
Folks, it is the top of the hour. I'm going to try to lick my wounds and come back tomorrow a better co-host, subordinate. Commander says he's not coming back.
Not tomorrow, at least.
Okay. You'll be back.
Someday.
Folks, we love you guys. Hope you have a great day. Have a great week. Remember, you can't win the week if you don't win Monday. Get out there and make something happen.
We will see you, man.
Half the world is just waiting for Tuesday to get rolling. Get out there and get after them today. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.